So today we'll be figuring out how we, Henled, make our own tyres. Basically, while we were at an event, Team Panoramic really liked our wheels, so we thought we'd just make one of these because we don't make them like everyone else, and they do give us a lot of traction, so I would recommend these a lot personally. So now we need to get our sources, or like ingredients if you want, for these tyres. So first we need to get our silicone. Now this will be the base, kind of like the cream of the tyre. It will be the actual base and kind of like the thing we start off with to make the actual tyre. Next we need our glycerine. So now we've got the glycerine, and this is the catalyst to speed up our silicone, and also add some some other features to the actual silicone to make it more tacky and more workable with. So next we will need our mixing surface. Then we will need our mould for this to set in and give us a nice rounded or spiky tyre. Then we will need our mixing tool to do the mixing with. And then some masking tape so we can stick the mould together. And then if you want, you can add some paint in there to make it easier for you to see when it's being mixed. But we don't really like using it as it actually affects the actual tyre. It doesn't make it set as fast, so we are not going to use it in this one, but if you want to, feel free to use it. So now we've got all our ingredients sorted out, let's start to make the tyre. So let's start putting down our base layer of silicone. So then we need to get our pot of glycerine, and we want to add about 1 drop about of that size to it. Tap it. Then we need to get our mixer, and this is the most important bit. We need to thoroughly mix it with the glycerine. So now we're on to the messy bit. We actually need to get all this stuff into this, and it's a very messy job. So you want to actually get as much of it on the thing as you can to begin with, like I have done. You want to get that inside, and you want to get your actual pot and just scrape on the edges, as you probably would guess. Try and get as much on it as possible. Get it in there. Don't worry if it gets on your hands, you just have to scrub it off later. Trying to push it into the corners. Then luckily this plastic tool has another side in it. We actually use this to push it to the sides to make sure there's no air bubbles. So when that's done, you'll want to actually get the cap of your mould and push it on like so. So you should see things coming off the side and all that. And then scrape off the excess. I actually did quite a bit of it this time. I don't normally do that, but yeah, it's a nightmare tidying it up. And then now we've got this. It's making all my desk messy. We want to get the masking tape. And like get the masking tape and then wrap it around to make sure it doesn't budge or anything like that. Oh, this has been like the messiest one I've ever done. So yeah, that's how you make one tyre. And then hopefully you should have another bunch of moulds, because that should be able to do another one. So yeah, gotta clean my hands now. Thanks, YouTube. So it's been a few weeks. It didn't need to be. You could probably just open it the next morning if you're doing it. But hey, we overdid it, so it's better worked. Otherwise, yeah, it's never gonna work if this doesn't work. So yes, let's start opening. So I'm going to take this masking tape off here nicely. So you will need to get a screwdriver or something and try and wedge the sides out a bit, because what it's going to do is going to stick to the plastic. One thing we didn't do in this iteration of it, we were meant to put cooking oil on, because then that makes it a lot easier. And you try and twist it and try and get it loose, then that should come out. Yeah. Oh, this one actually finished out quite clean. Normally you have to do a tidying on them, and then it's going to be stuck to all the edges, so to make sure we don't rip it, we need to try and bend it all around. Feels like that's out. Oh yeah, that one actually came up really quite neat. We have treading it so that the little dirt and grain on the arena gets trapped inside them, so it actually gets more traction. Fun fact. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. This one was kind of a tribute to Team Panoramic, as they did ask, and to anyone else who wants to make their own wheels. So yeah, see you next time. Bye, because we're gonna shave this thing off.